Grace Lutheran Church here in Oshkosh, and we are a bulk customer. I wrote my comments down with my questions so I can stay within the 2 minutes. I come before you tonight on behalf of our church. We currently use the bulk mailing 15 times a year. In dollar and cents, that's $1,650. If you indeed close the Oshkosh office, the amount to send out the same mailings will be $2,475, an increase of $825. This does not include the cost of taking the mail up to Green Bay, which would be approximately $675 in mileage and $300 in wages. Now the impact is $1,800, an amount many congregations and non-profit organizations can sustain. We cannot pass this cost on to our consumers. According to your Green Bay office, our mailing would take additional time as well. Currently, if I drop off a mail in Oshkosh on Monday, our congregation members have that on Tuesday. That same mailing, if I drop off in Green Bay, would take 2 to 3 days to reach our membership. This is according to your workers. Why is it not acceptable for the mail to get way up at the northern part for an hour delay, but it's okay to delay our bulk mail by 2 days? Like many congregations, our membership is comprised of individuals that were raised in the postal mailing era and still rely on its services. It is a shame that they will be the ones majorly impacted by your decision. We too have been affected by the economy. We at our church have taken strident measures by cutting every item in our budget except our mailings. In fact, we have done everything except move. Why? Because we own our building. It makes no fiscal responsibility sense to rent another facility when we have a facility currently meeting our needs. Don't you own the building here in Oshkosh? How can you financially justify renting a facility when you have a facility here in Oshkosh meeting your needs? Let's see, increased costs, less service. This is not what taxpaying citizens expect of the United States Post Office. Moving to Green Bay will not improve our services. In fact, using your words, you right now have the right right people in the right places. Thank you.
Let me just say that the bulk mail unit will still be there. So I'm not familiar with your mailing, and some of you will not. You will need to talk to the bulk mailing business manager, and they can sit down and talk to you. I am not familiar with those costs that you talked about, but if you will sit down and talk to them, and if you have additional comments, please send them in.
He should be. I guess I would say this. Obviously, as a local business, you lose your SCF discount if the Oshkosh plant goes away. And obviously, there is a cost to you. I understand that. But as I said, this company lost $8.5 billion last year. And if we continue to do nothing to reduce those costs, you will all pay more in increased postage. And for those of you who work in the post office, that means less volume because it drives mailers away, it drives customers away. And where do we go? It's not a great alternative any way you look at it.
And some of our larger post offices do not have that luxury. Kenosha and Appleton. And it was just one of the issues, one of the perks that Oshkosh did have. But if you look at most of your other offices, they do not have that.
I just have a quick thing to say. You talk about losing $8 billion last year, and you can gain $4.5 million by doing this. But is that really worth it? I mean, $4 million compared to $8 billion? And all these people's jobs and everything that they're going through, is that really worth it?
It seems like I would argue that it is, and this is, meetings like this and proposals like this are going on throughout the country, so you can't just look at it as though it's just Oshkosh, even though I understand it's personal. It adds up, and we as a company have to do something. We can't continue to lose money.
Can we get your name?
Good evening. My name is Bernie Faust, and I'm a resident of the city of Oshkosh. It has been reported that the Postal Service will save $4.6 million with this consolidation. Is this figure accurate, or are the numbers deceiving? Meaning that if there is savings in Oshkosh, labor are there reported as an additional expense in Green Bay. Employees are guaranteed 40 hours a week, no matter where they are transferred to. So how can this be a labor cost be a savings?
It's not only just the labor cost in that figure, it's the reduction of transportation, reduction of equipment, and reduction of spare parts. It all adds up to a total bottom line.
My name is Dave Meyer, President of the Oshkosh Area Local here in Oshkosh, and I live in Pine River, and my mail will also be affected by Pine River and all the areas. What I would first like to say, and I know I don't have a lot of time here, is first off, I am not aware of any unutilized equipment or people in the Oshkosh Post Office. None. We're working numerous overtime and still not get the mail out on time. And that's a problem we're trying to work on to continue to get the service. I would like to present petitions and resolutions to the post office, which I have a box up there, to give. We have resolutions that are passed from many cities and counties. People were voted on by their people from these cities and councils to represent these people. All these resolutions that are passed, these people represented 263,667 people, 14 cities and 16 counties. So I can present them after I ask them 2 questions. The questions being, okay, you're going to send 8 of our 13 machines that now utilize in Oshkosh every day to get the same volume done we do with 13. Just yes or no? Let's see yes or no. Okay, to fit these additional machines in Green Bay, you have to move the carriers out and lease a facility. Is this true?
Yes, we have to do something with the carriers.
We have not.
Yes
we have
or no,
not,
please?
we
Because I
have
only have
not
2
made-
minutes.
We have not made a decision about the carriers. Okay, they
Please, it's either yes or no.
They can stay in the facility. I just want to make sure that everybody gets the proper answer, that's all.
It's a simple yes or no. What will the cost be for the facility if you do have to lease?
Don't know. And okay. What will the savings be if we
Simple
were to
yes
sell
or
the
no.
Oshkosh office?
We're here to ask questions, not to answer your questions, please. If the total mail volume in Green Bay and Oshkosh were combined, that total, would that be equivalent to roughly what is processed in Madison, Wisconsin? A yes or no?
Yes.
Mr. Wenzel, being the plant manager, used to be the plant manager in Green Bay, would you consider the Madison plant much bigger?
I was never the plant manager of Green Bay.
Oh, I'm sorry. Would you consider the plant bigger?
Which plant, Dave?
Madison
Bigger than Green Bay?
or Oshkosh?
Yes.
In fact, it's 272,952 square feet compared to 120-some thousand square feet in Green Bay or Oshkosh. Okay. Madison now utilizes 25 machines, 3-letter carrier tray system conveyors. Do you think that, remember, we're going to be processing more mail in Green Bay if this happens with a smaller building, lesser machine, and still get it out to the customers on time? Yes or no?
Yes.
Is it also true that if the Oshkosh mail goes to Green Bay, that Green Bay will not be able to handle all the flat mail, and some of that flat mail will have to be sent to Milwaukee? Yes or no?
Don't know.
After all this, do you feel that the service to the people in the 549 area, people that are here tonight, will not be lessened?
If I didn't, I wouldn't be here.
Thank you for your time.
I'm Tom Petri, representing the 6th Congressional District, which this facility is located. And I was asked to mention that Marlene Milkey, representing Senator Cole, is here expressing their concern about this. And State Senator Randy Hopper asked me to give you a letter for the Postmaster Potter, expressing his concern about what's going on as well. Thank you for having this meeting to provide public input. We all know that the Postal Service is going through rough times and is having to downsize. And I know that you've made a number of hard decisions in that regard already. And I understand that this study that we're discussing in this public meeting is just one step in a process that is attempting to address the burdens that the post office is currently facing. But I frankly believe that any review must be done in a fair, open, and objective manner, and that so far the Postal Service has failed to do this with regard to the study that you've done the citizens of the 549 area a disservice by providing such restricted information on the current study, and in effect have limited the public's ability to provide reasoned arguments or input on potential consolidation. The information has been scant and gives us no real insight as to the basis on which the Postal Service is determining the cost savings associated with the potential consolidation. You've estimated the savings as some $4.6 billion, but provided no background data as to where the number comes from. And I have a whole series of questions in connection with that I think would help everyone involved in this process understand that number and where it came from and whether it makes sense or whether there's some ways of doing things better or helping to achieve the objective of the post office without closing this facility, but in a number of ways. Some of the questions are, have the cost of expanding the Green Bay